Hello, dear friends. My name is Samira. I am 28 years old. I come from Morocco. Please listen to my story from the beginning to the end. I promise this journey will touch your heart and give you hope. I will share with you how I learned English. I will share with you how English changed my life. I will share with you my motivation and my dreams. When I was a child, I heard people speak English on TV. The words sounded like music to me. I did not know what they said. I felt a strange joy and a small fear. I wanted to speak like them, but I did not know how. I tried to repeat the words. I felt my tongue freeze. My heart beat fast. I felt shy. I felt small. But I felt a strong wish in my heart. I wished to learn English one day. At school, we had a small book in our hand. We had one lesson every week. We read a few words. We wrote them on the blackboard. I tried to read a simple line. My classmates laughed. I felt pain in my heart. I wanted to hide. But deep inside, a small light shone. I said to myself, I will try again. I will not give up. I wiped my tears, and I stood tall. When I was 18, I went to the city for a new life. I found a small job in a cafe. I met travelers from many lands. They spoke English. I served them tea. I listened to their words. I felt I could learn from them. I tried to ask simple questions. How are you? I said. They smiled and answered. They spoke slow and clear. They helped me. I felt happy. I felt brave. One day, an old traveler named John sat at my table. He looked at my notebook. It was full of English words. He asked, Do you want to learn English? I nodded. He said, I will help you. He gave me a small notebook. He wrote one rule. Speak without fear. He said, Mistakes are steps to success. I felt his words warm my heart. I felt hope. Each morning I woke up early. I opened my notebook. I read one line. I read one word. I tried to say it loud. My voice was weak. My tongue felt stiff. But I said it again and again. I felt my voice grow strong. I felt joy. I felt proud. In the cafe, I practiced with travelers. I asked, Where are you from? I learned new words. I wrote them on my notebook. I spoke slow. I spoke clear. I listened to every answer. I tried to feel their heart. I saw their smiles. I saw their kind eyes. They told me stories. They told me dreams. I felt the world open in front of me. One day, a woman named Maria came with her child. The child was shy. The child did not speak. Maria said, He is new to English. I remembered my fear. I felt compassion. I sat down. I smiled at the child. I said, Hello, my friend. What is your name? The child looked at me. He whispered, Liam. I said, Nice to meet you, Liam. I spoke slow. I showed him a picture in my notebook. I pointed and said, Dog. He smiled. He said, Dog. I felt tears in my eyes. I felt a warm glow in my chest. I realized that I was teaching a child with my small English. I realized that I had grown. I had passed a test of my journey. At home, I had one small table. On it lay my books. I studied grammar. I studied verbs. I studied simple sentences. I wrote, I am happy. You are kind. He is my friend. I read fairy tales in simple English. I read short poems. I read children's stories. I loved them. They made me feel young and free. One night I felt lonely. I missed my family. I missed the smell of my mother's cooking. I missed the warmth of my father's hug. I felt tears. I opened my laptop. I found a website for language exchange. I met a friend named Emma. She lived far away in Canada. We talked by text at first. I typed, "Hello, Emma." She replied, "Hello, Samira." We talked about simple things. We talked about the sun and the rain. We talked about our favorite foods. We shared pictures of cakes and gardens. We practiced simple words. After a week, we spoke by voice. I heard her voice. It sounded light and happy. I felt my heart beat fast. I said, "Hello, Emma." She answered, "Hi, Samira. How are you today?" I felt joy. I felt brave. I said, "I am good. Thank you." We laughed. We spoke more. We made a small video. We saw each other. I saw her smile. She said, "You speak so well." I cried. I cried because I felt proud and because I felt loved. I cried because I felt I did not learn only a language. I learned friendship. In my journey, I had days of doubt. I had days when my mind told me, "You cannot do this." I had days when I forgot a word. I had days when I felt stuck. I had days when I cried on my bed. But each time, a small voice in my heart said, "Try again, one step at a time." I looked at my notebook. I read my rule: speak without fear. I stood up. I opened my laptop. I studied again. I tried again. After 2 years, I had a chance to travel to England. I saved money from my job. I bought a ticket. I felt fear. I felt excitement. I boarded the plane. I sat by the window. I saw the clouds. I felt my heart full of dreams. I whispered, "Yes, I can do this." In England, I stayed with a host family. They were kind and warm. They spoke English at home. I listened. I spoke. I learned new words. I went to the market. I asked for bread. I asked for cheese. I asked for tea. I spoke to the cashier. I spoke to the bus driver. I spoke to my teacher. I spoke to my new friends. My English grew each day. One afternoon, my host mother, Mrs. Brown, invited me to a picnic. We walked in, the park. The sun was warm. The birds sang. I heard children laugh. I felt a deep calm in my heart. Mrs. Brown said, "You have done very well, Samira. You speak with confidence now." I looked at her. I felt tears. I held her hand. I said, "Thank you. You gave me strength." I felt love and gratitude. On the last day of my journey, I had a small speech in front of my class. The room was full. My classmates and teacher looked at me. My heart beat fast. I held my small card. I began, "Hello, everyone. My name is Samira. I come from Morocco. I am 28 years old. I stand here today to share my journey with you." I spoke slow and clear. I saw kind eyes. I saw warm smiles. I felt calm. I told them about my fear. I told them about my tears. I told them about the small light in my heart. I told them about the rule: speak without fear. I told them about my friend Emma. I told them about Maria's child, Liam. I told them about John and Mrs. Brown. I told them about my small steps. I told them about my big dream. When I finished, the room was silent. Then, All the people in the room stood up. They clapped. They cheered. I felt my heart fly. I felt so happy. I felt I was not alone. I felt love. I felt respect. I had done it. I had learned English. English had opened a new world for me. English gave me a voice. English gave me friends. English gave me hope. My dear friends, this story is not only my story. It is the story of everyone who tries. It is the story of every small dream that grows strong. It is the story of every heart that learns to speak without fear. If you wish to learn English, start today. Take one small step. Learn one new word. Say it loud. Do not fear mistakes. Each mistake is a step forward. Each word is a bridge. Each sentence is a friendship. Each dream is a path to a new world. I hope this story touches your heart. I hope you feel the joy and the courage I felt. I hope you feel that you are not alone. I hope you know that a small light in your heart can grow. I hope you know that you can learn, you can grow, you can speak, and you can change your life. Thank you for listening to me completely. If you like my hard work, please subscribe to my channel and like this video. Your support will help me share more interesting and amazing stories and lessons. I value your heart, I value your time, and I value your dream. Please subscribe and like for more.